So me being me, Derek's biggest pain, decided to take a 6-inch wide HX wheel and put what size tire on it, D? What size tire, buddy?
225 going on a 6-inch rim.
225.
Dang, man.
What do you think about that, Larry?
I like it. I like it.
That looks goofy as hell. I'm gonna get zero contact with my tires. I'm gonna have like this much contact.
We're reverse stretching tires.
Yeah, reverse stretch. I mean, I don't know if y'all can see how much wider that tire is.
You want to get this right here?
Oh, trying to put it on? That's the best part.
Yeah, that's gonna be good.
Look how tall the tire is. The gap. It's like, what a mess. Got this boy multitasking. Another inch, probably 2 inches.
Yeah, 2 inch.
It's probably a 225 is what, about 8.5 inch tire on a 6-inch wide rim. What a mess.
Would you like that? No. Not that at all.
All right, I'll put on a little time lapse so y'all can watch D have fun. Oh, why'd he do that? Why'd he do that?
Hello?
All right. Today is Saturday.
Halloween, the 31st.
Today, we don't feel like doing a fucking thing.
I'm gonna put the schmeats on.
We're gonna put the schmeats on.
So, IFO got canceled again. We've officially given up on any hopes of ever going to an IFO again. We're devastated.
I damn sure ain't going in the fucking summertime. Fuck that.
So everybody's like, fuck IFO. So today, I guess we'll do some fucking actual customer work instead of playing with my shit. So Zach's knocking this transmission out. Got to pull the tranny. We've got a 4th gear issue. We're gonna take a look at the clutch, fix all that, put it back in, get my boy back right. Oh, Cletus Snow from Smokey and the Bandit. And then I am tinkering over here with push lock, vacuum lines, the boost solenoid wiring, cleaning up a couple other things. Then we got to put the, what are these, Derek? Derek, what did you call these tires, Derek?
The schmeats.
The what?
The schmeats.
The schmeats. So we got to put the schmeats on. Do a little eyeball alignment in the back. And then finish mounting the tank, the battery, and are we gonna put it on the dyno or are we street tuning? We dynoing the deputy, or are we gonna street tune?
Street tune.
Street
It already feels great.
Street tune. So then we have to wire in the wideband. That's where Derek comes into play.
Wide bands.
Yes.
Do we have to weld it? Or just wire?
It's already got one in there, baby.
Oh,
You just gotta wire it in.
I didn't know.
Power ground and one wire to the ECU. You feel me?
Oh, baby.
You hurt?
There you go.
We gotta solder that baby in there?
You hurt?
No, we're gonna twist it and tape it.
Hey, whoever doesn't know how to work a car, stop working on cars.
Okay. All right. So yeah, that's the plan. So we're gonna time lapse Zach getting the training out, watch him struggle. He said he wants to be cool and be YouTube famous.
No, I don't want to be no YouTube famous.
Oh, okay. All right. Well, time lapse will commence now. What's up, guys? All right, so today we got a little change of pace. We run into some issues with the all-wheel drive car, some wiring issues. Haven't really had time to mess with it. I got to catch back up on some customer stuff. So we pulled the transmission out of Charles's car. Zach did, and I helped. I got to open that up, inspect it, see what's wrong with it, get a price together for him, and then get the parts order, get it repaired. Today's a transmission day, so we've got a face-plated gear set that I got to assemble. We pulled it apart, inspected it, everything looks good. I've got to reseal it, clean it up. So get that resealed. I've got to open up Charles's transmission, see what's going on with that. I've got to do an LSD install on this RSX transmission, and then I've got to get Weak Bitch's transmission open up and see what's going on with that. We had a couple issues with it, so we're going to get that cracked open and see what's going on with that. So reseal the faceplated tranny, get Charles's open and inspected, get the parts ordered, get this transmission. I sold him. This is a 4.7 Type S tranny, but he got a Z3 diff, so we got to install that. And then open up Weak Bitch's tranny and see what's going on with that. So 4 transmissions we got to get taken care of today, and then I got to go vote. So I might do a time lapse of sealing them and all that shit, and that'll be it. Alright, so today we'll do like a little transmission tutorial kind of inspection deal. This is a Z3 transmission. Customer is complaining of a grind and forth. seems to be his only complaint, but you can see the wear on second gear. He said he had no complaint of that, but while we're in here, we're going to see if he wants to go ahead and put a new second, maybe a synchro in it. But as far as looking, everything looks decent. We don't have any of the rings missing on the synchro. They don't look very worn or anything like that. We've got some scarring in the 3/4 hub. You can see that, but when you look at the gear, you want to look and see if it still has a good point to it, like a house. And everything looks pretty good there on fourth, as far as that goes. Third gear, you can tell it's got some wear, but it still looks pretty solid. I'm going to tear it all the way apart, take the gears off, check the synchros, and I'll pick that video right back up. Alright guys, so I'm gonna try to hold this gear up the best way I can with the GoPro, and hopefully it gets what I'm trying to show you guys. So if you look at the gear, hopefully it focuses, you'll see that it's the gear itself is like pointed. Not sure if that's focusing very well. So what you want to look for is on the actual gear itself, you want to make sure that it isn't flattened out. It's supposed to be, you know, a point to it. I call it like almost like a house, a triangle per se. So you want to make sure that it's not worn out very bad. The third gear doesn't look really bad at all. It looks pretty good. But the synchro, now K-Series has a dual cone synchro on all K-Series Type S, SI. I believe base models may not have, like the EP3 or the base model don't have a dual cone on 3 and 4. I think they're just a single synchro. So this has a carbon synchro for the third gear. So you look on the back side of the synchro, and you want to make sure that it's not worn. As far as the teeth aren't worn on the back side, they'll start to round out and it'll take material away. So that looks okay. Now, what a synchro does is when you go to put it in gear and that slider goes to slide onto the gear, the synchro acts as a brake to slow the gear down to engage. So what you want to do is you want to look at the gap between, you want to push down and you want to look at the gap between the synchro and the gear. And there's supposed to be, you know, a little bit of gap in there. And what I normally do is I'll push down on the gear and the synchro together and I'll try to turn it. And it acts as a brake. See, I can't really turn it. So that third gear synchro is in pretty good shape. Now to fourth gear has a brass synchro. It doesn't have a carbon synchro. Not sure why. Maybe somebody's been in here before. But if you look at this synchro and you look at the way it sits on that gear, it's very close. The synchro is almost sitting on top of the gear. See how there's no gap? And see how I can turn it? I'm pushing and I can turn it very easily. So this synchro is worn out. This synchro is no longer acting as a very good brake for that engagement. What you do is you look inside the synchro and you'll look at the veins, kind of like the lines inside of the synchro. They'll start to smooth out. And when they smooth out, they don't act as that brake anymore. They just kind of glide against there. So further inspection, the fourth gear synchro is actually worn. It's not really worn here, but the actual braking part of it that's supposed to stop this gear, to slow this gear down to engage, is completely worn. Because like I said, I can still turn it. And the gap is very close. I shouldn't be able to push it down. There should be at least a little gap between the brass synchro and the gear itself, the engagement teeth. So that's worn. Now the hub and slider, you kind of just want to make sure that those move in and out pretty good. There's going to be some burrs and some wear on these teeth here on the hub. You want to make sure that those don't flatten out also. You want to have those to a point, like the house, the triangle. So this feels pretty good. There's definitely some burrs, but what I usually do is I'll take a file and I'll just take that edge off, that little burr, to give it a smoother transition. So third and fourth look pretty good on the slider. Now the hub has light gouging in it. I usually just take a little file to that and smooth it out. So the hub and slider seem to be in pretty good shape. So far, the only thing that I'm seeing is the fourth gear synchro is worn, which that was the concern because he had a grind in fourth. Makes sense. The second gear is worn. The synchro is worn a little bit. So we're going to see if he wants to do a second gear, a synchro, and then we'll do the fourth gear synchro. Maybe just go ahead and do a 3/4 synchro just while we're in here. And then I'll clean up the hub and slider, and this transmission should be back to rocking and rolling. All right, guys, got a B series transmission. Not sure what's the complaints for this one. There's a lot wrong with it. First thing I noticed was when I was taking the detent balls out, the springs, it's supposed to be like that. Okay, that's from over torquing it. Crushes that ball into the bolt. So that's an issue. Then on the selector, it's bent. That's from locking out, hard shifting. You can bend these ears. So that will make it hard to go into gear ever. Now to the gears. Their gear is severely worn. If you look how soft the metal has gotten, and it's basically rounded it off. So it no longer looks like a house. The synchros are worn on that. Fourth gear is the same. Synchro is worn. The gear itself is worn. Fifth gear is trashed. Like I said, they race it so they don't normally hit fifth, but fifth is absolutely trashed. And the hubs and sliders are pretty trashed as well. That's the 3/4. See how much worn it is. It's pretty worn. So the 3/4 hub is worn. Second gear is worn pretty bad. I'm sure the synchro and the hub is worn as well. So it's looking like a full rebuild on this one. Yeah, it's pretty tired. So we'll get with the customer, get some prices on some parts to repair it, and we'll go from there.